it stood tall being one of the only 2 exclusives on the list. Speaking of exclusives, can we sort out the publishing clusterfuck that is Demon Souls and get a remake, please? Tower Knight and Penetrators, deserves more recognition, and Maiden Astraea not fighting to be in at least the top 15 is a travesty in my mind. Which is the track I've been playing to this point, by the way, if you like what you've been hearing. Meanwhile, Dark Souls 2 received lackluster voting across the board, with its highest ranking boss Sir alone making number 22 in the voting, but still only receiving recognition from less than 5% of total voters. I have to admit, it's not a shocker. I couldn't tell you a single memorable theme from that game. Meanwhile, Sekiro also received a small bit of support, but did have both the Sword Saint and Divine Dragon crack the top 20. I have to say, I really expected Divine Dragon to receive more love, but I do understand that many found Sekiro's soundtrack overall to be underwhelming compared to the series' track record. Finally, I want to shout out a few themes other than Maiden Astraea that deserve more love. First, Lawrence the First Vicar. Many of the bosses toward the top of the list are all considered top-tier quality, but Lawrence managed to claw his way to number 18 despite the sizable hatred he garners because he has a fantastic theme. I'm gonna toss 2 comments up on the screen that I encourage you to take the time and pause to read for yourselves because they are an excellent dissection on what makes it so good. But second and most importantly, it's criminal that a boss as mediocre as the Living Failures was graced with such a phenomenal track. Put some respect on their damn tune. Dadmod is officially giving you homework. Go listen to that and come back to comment on how hard it slaps out of 10. Meanwhile, it's time for me to take a bit of a breather from the Souls Boss videos. I love coming back and talking about them, but I never want things to get too stale. I've got some long-standing ideas I'm keeping in mind for them in 2020, so I hope you're enjoying all the other content the channel has expanded to. There's a few surprises I've got for the holidays. I'm going into overdrive with the top 100 until the end of the year, and I've got loads more planned for 2020. I want to thank everyone who voted, and all of you that left such incredible comments for me to pick for the video. I had a blast reading through them all. And of course, I want to thank you for watching today. Much love to you, and I'll see you in the next video.
So let's see. Yorm the Giant. In here? I feel like this is not the right place to go. I want to save that for later. I think I missed any. Ooh, wait, one area, maybe. Don't know if he's there. I'm just gonna queue up another video. I'm listening to videos. Don't copy stripe me. I don't make any money.
I've dropped hints for years about how much I love Bloodborne, how I think it's one of the best games ever made, how it resonates with me on a greater level than the rest of the Souls series, and how I believe it's an absolute must-play game for anyone with the means to do so. Today, it's finally time to break down exactly what I love and don't love about Miyazaki's Gothic masterpiece. I've got 20 talking points prepared, and I think it'll provide you all with the insight you need to see things from my own perspective. Let's kick things off with the sounds of Yharnam. It's not to say the entire series isn't well known for its fantastic score, but Bloodborne to me is regarded more highly because while its music reaches the peaks of the series, it rarely deviates from it. Every single boss track, from the swelling orchestra of Father Gascoigne's theme to the haunting vocals of the Witches of Hemwick to the melancholy theme accompanying your final duel with Gehrman, every single track in this game is crafted masterfully, and it makes even the most mundane interactions brim with eerie and engrossing emotion. What I mean to say is that even when you're duking it out with a Celestial Emissary, the sound design behind it isn't an afterthought, and that's something that adds a lot to the experience even when it does hit its less vibrant notes in terms of challenge. And when those tracks aren't the centerpiece, you're treated to ambient sounds throughout the game's world to make it feel like a true night of terror. When I play this game, I feel fear, I feel dread, I feel exhilaration, adrenaline, heartbreak, purpose, and ultimately satisfaction. Every bit of that starts with some superb music and sound design. We're only through a single level and I already feel like I'm drooling with praise. Well, it's gonna keep coming in droves when it comes to the level design. The first level in the game, Central Yharnam, is in my mind one of the best introductory levels ever designed in a video game. It has enemies of varying difficulty to introduce the player to different enemy fighting styles and offers growing levels of challenge. It has many items that are useful for first-time players, such as upgrade materials, blood echo drops, healing, and bullet stores. Stands as one of the best places in the game to farm for healing items. It boasts a winding jungle of different paths that are interconnected in a brilliant way with multiple shortcuts connecting the beginning lamp to both of the area bosses.
Yep.
These two bosses included are first a large beast to prepare you for the monster that's ready to come that is on the easier end of the spectrum. And it includes a challenging boss that in many ways attempts to force you to adapt to the game's aggressive playstyle. It even includes colorful NPCs, one of which can make the aforementioned boss easier by way of using a special item. The incline and difficulty after the area isn't too large either, so if you spend your time fully exploring and conquering the challenges within, it should help you feel well
the new
prepared for what
Duke's
lies ahead.
Archive.
And this is only the first of many well-designed levels. I've said many times that I play this series primarily for its combat and bosses. When I did the area rankings, I got bored because I don't enjoy talking about them as much. Most of them are one and done. Once I've beaten them, their thrill is gone. But while Bloodborne certainly does hold a few that can be tedious to experience, I can't argue that even those aren't designed with immense attention to detail. Whenever I remake my way through the game, I rarely feel inconvenienced by having to redo the levels, but rather enjoy the expert craftsmanship all over again. Seriously, I'm making myself want to play Bloodborne right now just by talking about it. Instead, let's talk lore. Yeah, that's a big thing in this series, right? Lore speculation is a massive part of the community, and it's one that I primarily shied away from. Why? Well,
frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
That's not a shot at Vati. He is a beautiful man that makes beautiful content. But when it comes to me, I'm standing there like,
I just knew it was too good to be true.
Then I beat Bloodborne for the first time and was sat there like, I don't understand what the fuck I just played. Enter our Lord and Savior Vati dropping a 31-minute truth bomb on our asses, making me understand how every bit of this world and the characters within have a purpose that isn't spoken through forced gameplay, interactive dialogue, and the items within the universe itself. I'm not saying cinematic games don't have their place. That happens to be my favorite form of storytelling in the media. So you should understand that it carries some gravity when I say this is some of the finest indirect storytelling I've ever seen. I'm not going to try to break it down for you. I'm sure many of you already seen Vati's video anyway, and if you haven't, we both know what you're going to be watching after this. All of the three previous loves combined to form a world that exudes so much soul it makes you feel utterly immersed. From the music and sounds that echo throughout a work of art in terms of its physical design to the lore that permeates every square inch of its grounds, it's difficult not to think of this as one of the best built worlds ever in a singular game. Within this world are the tools that hunters use to slay the beast within, with their primary tools being a handful of transformation weapons. If I were ever to make a list of the innovations I regard as the most brilliant in a game series, transformation weapons would be right up there at the top. In a series that is plagued by hordes of weapons that exist for nothing more than boasting a large number while being near carbon copies of other standard models, Bloodborne shirks this methodology by including 26 unique weapons that have not only one, but two movesets due to their transformative nature. It's a refreshing approach that allows each weapon to feel special and adds that much more replay value by trying each one out and seeing how the game differs. I particularly like that you can create actual combos by transforming the weapon mid-combo and blend smoothly into the alternative moveset. It's an all-around improvement on the weapon style philosophy that I hope to see adopted in future games as long as it's done with care. It's not only the weapons themselves that have been streamlined to perfection, but the upgrade path is also at its best. Rather than breaking out
thank you.
Titanite or God forbid stone, this time we're left with shards of stones and rocks. But this time there's only one form, Bloodstone Shard, all the way up to Blood Rock. Every single weapon takes the same material in the same amounts to go from its base level to a full +10 upgrade. Keeping everything standardized like this allows for better overall progression within the game for your weapon of choice and keeps the difficulty within purposeful bounds. It's one of those simple yet so much appreciated changes that makes me groan a bit anytime I play a game that makes upgrades more complex. If that's too simple for you though, perhaps you'll enjoy the way weapons truly scale in this game. Upgrade level certainly does make an impact, but the true damage comes from finding the best blood gems for your build. Each weapon can accommodate up to 3 gems that can increase physical, elemental, or even stat-based damage. With these, you can multiply the damage of weapons to astronomical proportions with the right setup. And when you consider the smaller set of weapons in the simple upgrade paths, these gems are where the true complexity comes in. There are complicated arcane builds or simple straight-up physical power builds. And if you want the best gems, you have to take advantage of the game's optional Chalice Dungeon. The problem is they're shit. While the Chalice Dungeons sound great on paper, they don't fulfill their potential in practice. In a large way, the dungeons are victims of the main game's success. Each dungeon is set up so it can be procedurally generated, so you end up with horribly generic levels that pale in comparison to even the game's worst area. With them being a bore, it becomes an even greater chore when you consider you're forced to clean them up top to bottom to find materials you need to progress deeper within their depth. Truly, the biggest shame is that these dungeons now have some exclusive bosses that stand with a better blood Bloodborne bosses, but so many players will miss them due to the odd nature of accessing them and the slog of getting to said boss. I wish that they had the foresight to take this opportunity to make a goddamn boss rush. I'm beating a dead Ludwig at this point, but these dungeons would be 100 times more engaging if it was simply a deep dive to see how many bosses you could survive with a set amount of materials. There could be individual rewards, overall rewards, leaderboards, and refill stations at certain checkpoints. Which is a great time to segue into another hate, lamp ineffectiveness. Don't confuse this with the idea that lamps don't serve their main purpose well. They do, and there's just the right amount of them sprinkled throughout the back.
And then I get damaged.
Further praise to their design. But the lamps themselves lack functionality that already existed in bonfires and can be frustrating. For example, your only means of
headbutt.
Areas to return
Respect.
to Hunter's Dream and back to the desired level. You can only regain consumables in the same way. And specifically from Dark Souls 3, it'd be nice if Marks offered the ability to travel straight back to Hunter's Dream instead of just the last lamp. I understand the thought process. You wanted Hunter's Dream to serve as a workshop for the hunters separate from the world and have legitimate reasons for them to go there. Unfortunately, it doesn't make it convenient even if it does make sense. This is exacerbated all the more by the longer load times on the PS4. It is impossible to get on the topic of Bloodborne being a PS4 exclusive without talking about Bloodborne's frame rate problem. It is far too common to see the frame rate chug, and that's assuming you're okay with a locked 30 frame rate in the first place. I am, and I can deal with frame drops too, but it's hard to argue the game wouldn't be better with a consistent 60 frames, which PC could allow for. I'm not going to sit here and argue that Bloodborne shouldn't be exclusive. Sony funded the game, and it may not exist without that involvement. I'll take a game like this being made for a single system over it not being available at all. That said, I do agree it's a shame for those who don't have the financial means or desire to experience it. Getting back to systems within the game and not the actual game systems, I'd be hard-pressed not to mention the Velvet system.
Oh god.
I'm all for creating a thematic multiplayer model for a different universe, but why did it have to be so much stranger? Before I get completely into it, I have to praise Bloodborne for at least having a password. While something of that nature would help in the Dark Souls sign system, see Dark Souls 3, it becomes absolutely necessary in Bloodborne if you want to play with friends. You gotta put in a password, ring a bell, and cross your fingers if Bloodborne feels like connecting you. The PvP is even more nonsensical. For PvP to take place, you need a bell bitch in your area. Well, this only happens if you summon someone else to your world, that is, unless you're in 2 specific areas in the game. Even then, those bitches only stay there for as long as the bosses do. So invasions in this game are a near guaranteed gank, and the PvP is locked to 2 areas, so it's an understatement to say it and invasions are limited. Personally, I don't care. I play these games for the singular challenge and have little interest in playing with others, but I won't disregard that it's a vastly inferior system for those that do care. While I don't expect my opinions on the multiplayer system to be all that debated, I do think the healing system in Bloodborne is much more divisive. In this game, you start with 20 vials, and you end with 20 vials if you have any left, that is. Unlike Dark Souls, you don't have your healing restored by resting, but you must obtain it from within the world. This has its advantages and disadvantages. The healing in this game is perfectly balanced because no matter where you are in the game, you always have the same amount of healing available to you, and it always heals 40% of your HP per vial. So if you increase your max HP, your healing increases with you. And as you meet enemies and bosses that are more difficult to dodge, you'll find your healing stores don't go as far until you get better. And that's what these games are all about. The one problem with the system is if you run out, your only options for healing are either farm more or buy them with Blood Echo. But the players most likely to run out of vials are beginners, and they need those echoes for leveling. You could ask them to farm, but how many people keep a level head when losing again and again to the point of having to farm more healing?
I don't think I need
Probably
to go in there.
Not many. It may be enough to cause people to drop the game. With that said, it was never enough to turn me off personally, and I think the advantages far outweigh the cons. A final note is that I could see how you would argue that you should be able to restore your consumables from lamps like I argued similarly before. But I meant things like Molotovs, bolt paper, not bullets and vials. I think it's very much an intentional and key decision that you can't obtain more healing unless taken from corpses of your foes in one run out of the Hunter's Dream. That adds to the balance of the difficulty and would be altered if you were able to rest at the lamp. Then again, this respawns all the enemies in Dark Souls, so I could see going back and forth on this all day long. I'll end it by saying I could see either method of replenishment working, but they would have to have the same rules, no interchanging, but I feel like scaling vials are far superior to Estus that requires shards,
Don't steal my health, don't steal my health. It's the dust, it's the dust that steals your health, isn't it?
Combat, and it's by far the most impressive version of the series in my book. With respect to the fact that it goes for a different approach than Dark Souls, I can't help but love the focus on greater speed and aggression. I play Dark Souls the same way. Shields are only used for parrying, and I rely on my dodging skills to get by. So after playing Demon Souls and Dark Souls for the first time this way, I immediately was swooning for the way Bloodborne rewards this style. The quick step is a big part of this, as is the regain system. I love being able to dodge quickly and getting right back into countering, especially since this is the assisted by the ability to recoup health recently lost by beating it out of your enemy. Every bit of this rewards a fast and furious playstyle, and it's my favorite way to play. It feels fluid, exhilarating, and satisfying as hell when executed to perfection. I mentioned parries, and damn if they aren't amazing as well in Bloodborne.
Oh, hello.
Shields are scarce and useless in Bloodborne.
Did not notice you. Let me give you some attention.
Always have a gun equipped. Shooting this at the right time will
God.
allow you to parry and consequently riposte most enemies. One of my favorite parts of this is that
What
enemies have
is
different
that
parry
screeching?
windows. Enemies like the church servants in the early game will teach you how to parry by being open at any point during their attack animations, while bosses like the Orphan of Kos have the smallest windows of opportunity. And as always, parries are a risky proposition. If you fail, you're gonna get hit. Something that's typically been less risky are backstabs. Dark Souls has always been plagued by backstab fishing. Instead of trying to solve it the Dark Souls 2 way by putting enemies on a turnstile, Bloodborne asks for more timing and planning from the player. To backstab here, you'll have to fully charge an attack and hit the enemy from behind with it to knock them down into a repostable state. It's a brilliant change that keeps the backstab, but limits the fishing. I do have some minor complaints about the combat, however. First of all, counter damage in
Jailbreaker's
Bloodborne
key?
is
Nice.
downright filthy. If you get hit during a dodge, you take double damage. That's right, 200% of the damage you'd normally take, and in a game where some attacks can kill you in 2 to 3 hits, this quickly becomes a very annoying problem. It becomes all the more problematic when you add in circle jumping. By this, I mean you jump with the same button you sprint with. It's always felt uncomfortable to me, but the worst part is sometimes you'll sprint in combat and accidentally jump instead of dodge. This leads to getting walloped for double damage thanks to the obscene counter hits. Still, the combat system is about as close to flawless as you can get despite a few warts, and it's always a delight to experience. I've talked about combat, so naturally what's left on my favorite list are the bosses. Dark Souls 3 comes close, particularly with the excellence of 3/4 of the Ring City, but for me, nothing beats Bloodborne when it comes to bosses. From start to finish, every single boss is rewarding in some way, shape, or form. Cleric Beast is a trial in smacking that booty and teaches the player how to take advantage of position against large enemies to go. Gascoigne is a multi-phase fight that progressively forces the player to make masterful use of spacing, aggression, dodging,
They can
parrying,
take
and
all
timing.
to your
Vicar
health.
Amelia is the first truly challenging large beast with a fair and enjoyable moveset. Bloodstarved Beast rewards adept parrying and dodges while punishing those with poor positions.
Nope.
Horror is the DPS test.
Die.
Questionable,
Just be dead.
But it will be a blast if you want to
disgusting
The Witches of
individual.
Hemwick are a neat puzzle in theory, but
I'm guessing that those
The
respawn.
Shadows of Yharnam challenge the players to effectively use crowd control and have to take on multiple challenging foes. Ram upset Annie by forcing the player to keep track of her projectile magic while dealing with 3 waves of 11 minions that deal massive damage. The One Reborn is a decent throwback to the Tower Knight from Wrinkle. Is it great? Not really. Is it disgusting? Dear God, yes. But it's still somewhat enjoyable.
Oh my
While
goodness, I
Nikolash lacks in a quality fight, he makes up for by being fabulous. Wet Nurse is a snooze fest if done right, but can be an absolute wrecking ball if not fought properly. Amygdala is a wonderful exercise in how differing strategies can be deployed, from baiting attacks at its head, hugging its tail, or wailing at the arms like a drunken fool. The Blue Goobers are a delightfully hilarious introduction into a true challenge, Abritas, who will put your placement and dodge abilities to a grueling test. Martyr Lagarius is an epic fight with a lightning-quick battle made to top a snowy castle. What more could you ask for? A fight with the first hunter, you say? You got it. In a delightful twist, you end up having a tragically beautiful fight with the OG Reaper of Blood Echoes, and you cap it all off with a fight against the Moon Present, which is easy, sure, but there could even be thematic purposes for that. Then the DLC. Ludwig, after these few years, still stands the test of time with 2 phenomenal battles in one connected by a twist that is one for the ages. The Living Failures are a better version of the Celestial Emissary that is enjoyable for what it is and similarly offers a good laugh. Lady Maria is so goddamn fantastic that there's not one, but 2 fights in Dark Souls 3 that draw inspiration from. Orphan of Kos is as close as you'll come to an insanely difficult yet fair fight that manages to be the highest quality all the same. And finally, Lawrence. Fuck you, Lawrence! The DLC in Bloodborne is not only the finest content in the game, it's some of the finest content of all. Everything that is great about Bloodborne is amplified to unseen heights throughout the entire adventure, and it highlights my final love about Bloodborne. When you put everything together, the music and sound design, the level design and world building, the lore and atmosphere, the combat and the bosses, and the systems that are for the most part at a series best, it starts to become clear why Bloodborne isn't just the best Souls game, but one of the best games of all time. All of these complementary pieces stay consistently good throughout and have times where they swell into true greatness achieved once in a red moon. Of course, that's just my opinion. Tell me what you think of Bloodborne in the comments below. If you want to see more Souls, be sure to check out the Souls Series D Modathon and the boss rankings on the channel. You all voted for God of War to be our next marathon, as well as playing Shadow of the Colossus on release, so be on the lookout for that, maybe some boss rankings and a few Bloodborne speedruns on Twitch and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe for more gaming content on the channel, and leave a like if you enjoy the video. It lets me know you're enjoying the content, and it means the world to me. And finally, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Seriously, what the fuck? Oh, great. Lead arrows? Genius. But also screw you. Seriously, how? That looks. Way. Is that what the jailbreaker's key is? Yes. Nice. I don't know why I didn't just use the silver cat ring. I mean, I have it. Oh. Give me some loot. Oh, decent. Estus shard. Lovely. Nah. Holy. Calm now. Hold on. Okay. I was wondering who in. I found my pencil sharpener. I don't know if it's a good place to go, honestly.
Why are you standing on my foot, Ninja? Ninja, why are you standing on my foot?
Because he likes you. Fucking rats. Rats are just gonna keep on coming. Like first lizard. What in the balls? You're standing wrong. You ain't Voldo. Old cell key. No. If this was D&D, like those would be my favorite enemy. Not because I like them, but because I have trained to eradicate their very existences. Fuck those guys. Ooh, big rat. Hello. Just gonna slap me? Don't do that. Oh, it's literally shit. Oh. That's at least 4 people. Oh, that's just 4 people nearby. 1. Oh my goodness. God damn it. Oh, nice. 7. Couldn't just be 6. You know, honestly, it could be 8 for all I know. Oh, it's not even the smoke. Oh my god. I'm at full health. You guys are too tall. Bring it on, I know your trick. You guys are too tall. You must be this short to enter the ride. Oh my god, you're not. Okay. So you delay my attack with that? That's smart. I would never. I don't even know if I should heal because I could probably kill this guy without needing any gimmicks, and he's just gonna take away my health anyways. Soldering iron. You're just freaking soldering me. What am I? A bunch of lead? Alright. Enough. No, my god. Stop. Ah, stop. Stop, 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 stop. Decent. That's not even that bad. That's a good shortcut. Oh. Lightning blade. Nice. Ooh. That's cool. Wonder how you get there. I really hope I don't have to parkour or anything. Gross. You're nasty. You don't just vomit on people. That's not an attack. That's just you're a degenerate. Being a mutant is no excuse to be a degenerate. Profane coal. More stuff. Alva helm. That's where I came from. No. Ow. And I said no. I've dealt with all your friends. Ugh. It's locked. Guess I just need the master key. Oh. Why did I not look before open? Alright. I have faced many a you. Maybe the key's right next door. Huh? Huh? No. Why would it be? That'd make too much sense. But maybe. In that hole. Let's see. There. I think this is the only way to get down there. Yep. Another one. Nice. Nope, nope. Get your feet off the keyboard. Let's just lay down and be comfy. The heck? Fuck. Yep, I knew that was coming. Ow. Oh, Jesus. Who put 150 million fucking billion rats? Let's find out who put 100 billion million rats on Ninja. Okay. So then I don't really mind if I die here. It's totally fine. I got the spawn point. Main flame, nice. Onion guy.
Pardon me, I was absorbed in thought. Oh, look at me. Trapped like a rat.
Nah, man, the rats are free, actually. You're the one that's
worry.
trapped.
I've just been sitting here. No, I just... My little bit...
Jeez. Why are these rats so adamant? Fuck me up. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, wait. Can't pause like that. Ah. It's good practice for Yorm the Giant, I guess, maybe? Or maybe it's bad practice, and I don't even know. Okay, come on, ankles giving way. Does each ankle have independent health? That'd be like headshot damage. Titanite chunk. Nice.
My liver, the
Did I not get a key? Old cell key. Oldest riddle of all time. I get. Oh, come on. I could have sworn that because of the way the texture looked. Decent. Give me that lightning bolt. Got that. What I was, some messages popped up on a thing from the Discord. Oh, well, I remember what I'm doing. Fuck you, gem lizard. 2 Titanite chunks? Okay, good day. It's a good day. Best part about quick reloading like that is that the enemies don't respawn. Like, that would suck if they did. Alright, you are dead. Xanthus ashes. Oh, decent. I don't like that. Gee. Really, that cell key doesn't open this one. Sorry, witch-looking babe. What if that's a guy? Sitting very female-like. It's an item. Alright. You know, honestly, I think if they just fixed the textures, I wouldn't be surprised by some of the guys, but that is really convenient. That's designed that way so I can just get past that guy. Oh no, I got up the wrong one. I mean, no, I didn't. I got up the right one. Oh. He's out. Moi goy.
Well, welcome. Very well, then take note. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels.
Lot base.
Manifestations of disparity, elucidated by fire, burrow deep within me, retreating till darkness beyond. Farewell, Ashen One.
More Estus. Ah, it's just the one. Sworn I picked up 2.
Just one. Lords, where did you happen upon this comb? This is much too dark. I see the abyss in it.
What?
Yet a smith I remain. I won't turn down a request. But forget not, your fight is for the flame and for your fellow kin, just like mine. A cursed fate this may be, but hope remains, does it not?
Oh, the Titanite chunks aren't for that. Okay.
Prithee, be careful.
Ah? Gracious, let I only...
Dang. Composite bow. Elite Night Helm. Oh. Ray Rat, you got some competition.
Ashen One.
Alright, more souls.
Ah? Ashen One.
Well, speak. Very then take note. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels. Farewell, Ashen One.
Cat's taking a nap on my lap. It is the cutest thing. Alright, so. Still got the silver cat ring on. Decent, that's intentional. Okay. I see. It's a trick. This is the wrong way. Or is it the right way? Oh! You know what? This is a good time as any to practice. Nice. Yeah, how about that? Not so fun when you're dead. These people get turned to stone, or were they statues?
Come on, fuckface unstoppable. Let's go to the superstore. You need food.
Hold on. Can't get that. Just I just want to try to save Onion Guy. And also the cat is like right on my lap, so I don't really want to go. I know, but soon. What? Blooming purple moss clump? That's toxin, isn't it? Almost certain that that's toxin. Why would it be poison when it could be toxin? Do something. If I could block it. That's not a block button. Ooh. Be bled. Fleshy fuck. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know. Can you imagine if that did like 2,000 damage, the Mimic falling on you dead? Oh, okay. No, just die. All I need is for you to die. Random person, McGee. That was Logan. He didn't have the right hat. Hold on. I don't know if he's up there. Ah ha ha, he's here. Think. Yep.
You are a saint. Once again, you are my valiant savior. I, Siegfried of Katarina, express my deepest gratitude. Take this, a token of my thanks. Go on. It's all yours. Ah, no, please. And
That's enough.